took him back was trying to figure out pricing because, at my age right now, I should be, you know what I'm saying, at a higher level, financially. And it's not anything to do with greed. It's not anything to do with, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just living, you know what I'm saying? It's just growing. And if you don't have the financial backing, you know what I'm saying? Back then, you won't get it now because people are going to be like, oh yeah, that's the cheap person. You know what I'm saying? And I could do great video and he has a $10,000 camera, you know what I'm saying? And he's doing it for $300. Something ain't right. You know what I mean? Something ain't right.
That's a good point. That's a really
I wish I could buy a PS5 right now for $20. You know what I mean? That's how I see it, right?
Yeah, and going back to the entire idea of, looking at your own work and not being too comfortable with it, if you will, or too satisfied with it. I see that firsthand in school where I see my work and everybody else around me, and there's certain stuff that I'm amazing at and other stuff that I need help with. I see the stuff I need help with and I'm like, geez, this is terrible. This is not good. But I show it to people who aren't really specializing in this kind of stuff, and they're amazed by it. Like, I have my number one critic I have right now is my girlfriend. She actually she either roasts me or like puts me on a pedestal, and you need that. You need that. But for the most part, I that's one of the biggest things that really stuck to me and really made me realize what is the next step in my career. But with that being said, what do you consider your biggest failure to be rather than pricing yourself?
That's a good question. One of my biggest failures to me was, I guess not really absorbing the business side of things instead of, just focusing on the creative, because, let's face it, like, I came up from the age of, where YouTube started, you know what I mean? So like, I was producing content back then before YouTube, before Facebook.
What kind of content?
Just fucking around. You know what I'm saying? Like, at my time frame, there was Jackass. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And everybody wanted to be Jackass, and like we were throwing ourselves, you know what I'm saying, like into bushes, crashing into each other. You know what I'm saying? Like we did a whole bunch of crazy stuff. But like, I think where it originated, from as far as the industry goes, was skaters. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think skaters started the whole revolution of YouTube. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Creating crazy content
and getting their own demo reel going.
Exactly. And the wow factor in that. I mean, half of Jackass are skaters. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they got picked up with a show, and then they were editing, crazy crap, you know what I'm saying? And they put it on MTV and you're done. And then, from there, it just accumulated. Revolution. So, the biggest inspiration for me is I always wanted to do Steven Spielberg work, you know what I'm saying? Like those high-end action movies and all that stuff. And that's what inspired me was Indiana Jones, you know what I'm saying? Even playing with toys as a kid, you know what I'm saying? Like I had in my head stories. I wasn't just banging, you know what I'm saying? Like, toys together.
Sure.
I was having a story, you know what I'm saying? Like He-Man versus Skeletor, you know what I'm saying? And coming up with different episodes. And what inspired me to do that was watching TV, you know what I'm saying? Like was watching the cartoons and all that other stuff. And that spinned off, my own creative, spin on playtime, you know what I'm saying? And so like I took that same concept and applied it to, media now, you know what I mean? So that's how I created my own content. I mean, I just did fun stuff,
So how did you know that you were on the right path?
I still don't know if I'm on a path. Let's just put it that way. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. How do you know if you're doing it right then? How do you know that, not just you, but the person either just getting into this, doing this right now, and kind of looking for a
I guess your question is how do you know that I made it, right?
A little bit, yeah. Because how do you know you're doing this the right way? How do you know you're really reaching?
I'll never know if I'm doing it the right way because, like, look, I have worked with celebrities before. I've worked with Hulk Hogan. I've worked with Theory of a Dead Man. I've worked with a lot of bands and rappers and all that other stuff. You know, those moments I could say that I made it,
Mhm.
but I always need to top myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I look at it as humble. I'm humble just to do the job. I have, I like to be humble with whatever I do. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I think where I made it, I guess is recently or whatever, because my content is, I'm in Southwest Florida and they know my work or whatever in Lee County. I mean, that's huge for me. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
doing a couple jobs and all that other stuff, doing it, my name is slowly getting out there, but it's
Mhm.
not necessarily my name. It's just my company name, but I did 95% of the work. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the back curtain, and it's sad or whatever that it's that way, but it has to be that way.
Yeah.
Like you not a lot of people get credit for what they truly do.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Especially in our business. Our business is very, somewhat cutthroat depending on the types of people, and there's a lot of fake people. You know what I mean?
That's true. That is very true. And that's one of the biggest things as far as being in school and learning all these kinds of ins and outs. I work at a retail shipping company site, and I meet tons of local people. I mean, I've met Gene Page, which is a lead. I believe he's a lead photographer for The Walking Dead. Amazing guy, cool guy, but he tells me a whole bunch of stories and dreams and nightmares coming from certain people, certain aspects, and I'm not trying to really put bad names out there, but like I said, Gene Page, amazing guy, but he definitely keeps me in a sense of reality of as far as how this thing goes.
Yes, exactly. I've seen the highs and the lows and the lows.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen people that are total assholes.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But I have to deal with, you know what I'm saying? Like, here's the thing. You could be as talented as you want to. You could have all the expensive equipment, all that other stuff. People work with people they like.
Yeah.
Personality wins over all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody
Yeah.
wants to work with an asshole.
No.
Nobody wants to work with, yes, are you going to mess up? Absolutely. That's how you learn, through failure. Look at me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm passing on that knowledge to you, and hopefully you could pass that knowledge on to the world. What I want to start doing is, my own podcast, hopefully it'll come out soon, called Played Out, where, my focus is helping, the starter, guys out there, the starter videographers or the starter, content creators.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because they need to understand their value early on, you know what I'm saying, before they make the mistake, because that stuff affects us in the long run. It affects you. You know what I'm saying? Not only now, yes. Oh, you got the $500 for that one job. Great. And it came out fantastic, but you could have made $10,000 out of that job. You know what I'm saying? Could you have pocketed $10,000? No. Half of that money could go into crew, you know what I'm saying? Making it look legit and right, and putting that proudly on your reel, instead of like the $500 music video that, you know what I'm saying, it's kind of cool and all that other stuff, but then it fizzles out with all the rest of the $500 videos, you know what I mean? So what I want to do is I want to, you know, cater towards the person that's starting out and valuing that thing. It's very difficult to price your stuff out, you know what I'm saying, because the pricing is everywhere. I've been learning that the more that I look into the business side of production. But if you don't nip it in the butt now, it's going to be very difficult to get out of it. So my advice is apply what you like to do as an intern. You know what I'm saying? You know, get out there, talk to people, network with people, because that's the most important thing. Your personality and networking and talking to people and marketing yourself. Those are the 4 things or whatever that I would advise people to get into, but even before you purchase that camera.
That is huge. Wow. Now, what are your values behind the education system with, you know, this kind of stuff? Did you go to school? Do you think it's the right path to do? Where do you stand on that?
It depends on where you want to be in your career. Mm-hmm. I've looked into Full Sail. You know what I'm saying? Not a bash on Full Sail, you know, but I think they're there just to take your money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because what I've learned is I wanted to go to Full Sail because that's where, you know what I'm saying? That's where the cameras are. That's where the lighting is. That's where everybody's going. But the more research you put into it, you know what I'm saying? The more you realize that, wait a minute, only 60% of people graduate and get into their field. And I've literally taught people that have graduated from Full Sail how to edit.
Oh, geez.
Because, you know, those types of schools, they're just narrowing, you know, you're not real world, you know, hands-on stuff is the best knowledge that you're going to get. And that's what I've learned. You know what I'm saying? It's all in networking. It's all in networking. Trust me.
It's crazy.
I could tell, you know, you tell me how I got started in the industry. I could give you a story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, I don't know if we could cover it in this podcast, but maybe the next time we could.
Let's do it. This is what it's about. It's up to you. It's up to you to tell me what you want to say, how you want to say it. I mean, I'm not going to stop you, but if it's really going to be a story where we can go in depth and branch out more, I definitely want to save it for a later podcast. So with that being said, how do you stay motivated?
I guess watching other content, you know what I'm saying? Other content creators. That's how I stay motivated. I stay motivated by learning more and more and more, because I want to fine tune, you know, the creative, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And whether it be through cameras, whether it be through different editing styles, whether it be through lighting, I just want to be more perfect, because like, it's not about perfection. It's about getting the look that you want. You know what I mean? And I still can't really get the look that I want, but I won't be able to get the look that I want if I don't practice. You know what I'm saying? If I don't apply. And it's somewhat difficult because, you know, the industry is everywhere. Mm-hmm. And if you're really soaked into this industry, say for example, lighting, let's just talk about lighting. And you know, everybody talks about the aperture 120D, you know what I'm saying? 120D Mark II and the new aperture light, the 60D, you know what I'm saying? Like, all these lights are great for a YouTuber and a content creator, but you go to a big major set and you say, oh, how come you're not lighting with an aperture light? They'll look at you like, what are you talking about? What is an aperture light?
Yeah.
You know, we're using sky panels, airy sky panels. You know what I'm saying? And that's, you know, somebody like you or whatever, you're looking at it like, I don't know what a sky panel is. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, I mean, like, you know, and the funny part is, it's like, it, you know, the concepts of lighting is still there. it's been there since Rembrandt. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to